2. Attributes. Contrary to the person of God, His attributes can be comprehended to some extent by a human being. The reason is that man himself finds some of these attributes within him, though at a very small scale. God has granted man some portion of His knowledge, power, providence, wisdom, and mercy. Man can thus analogously have some idea of the attributes of God. Consequently, when the Quran says that He is Al-Khaliq, or the Creator, Al-Qadir, or the Powerful, Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, or the Gracious and the Ever Merciful, Al-Alim and Al-Hakim, or the Knower and the Wise, Al-Awwal and Al-Akhir, the First and the Last, and Al-Zahir Al-Batin, the Apparent and the Hidden, then we are able to have some concept of the attributes of God. In understanding the attributes of God, the aspect of finesse in them, however, should always remain in consideration, because power is praiseworthy only when it is complemented by mercy, affection, and justice. If anger, revenge, rage, and fury manifest against oppression and injustice, then this is commendable too. Mercy, forgiveness, and generosity are laudable in their right context. The mention of the attribute of Hamid, or praiseworthy, with Ghani, or self-sufficient, and Hakim, or wise, with Alim, or knowledgeable, and Ghafir, or merciful, with Aziz, or powerful, in the Quran guides us to this very aspect of finesse and poise. Similarly, whatever conception of God one perceives, it cannot be devoid of majesty, splendor, and perfection. Consequently, attributes such as Al-Wahid, or the Only One, Al-Ahad, or the Unique, and As-Samad, or the Rock, depict perfection. The attributes of Al-Quddus, or the Holy, As-Salam, or the one who is peace in entirety, and Al-Mu'min, or the Peacegiver, are attributes of splendor, and Al-Malik, or the King, Al-Aziz, or the Powerful, and Al-Jabbar, or the Dominant, are attributes of majesty. The attributes of majesty produce fear, respect, and praise in a person. The attributes of splendor produce praise and love for God and instill hope in a person. The attributes of majesty are more apparent to his senses, and the attributes of splendor are more apparent to his intellect and heart. If God is kept in consideration, the attributes of splendor appear more dominant, and if a human soul is kept in consideration, the attributes of majesty appear dominant. Man, while fearing God, leaps towards Him for this very reason, and tries to seek refuge in His attributes of splendor. When the Quran says that all gracious names are His, it means that every name which depicts His majesty, splendor, and perfection is gracious, and He can be called by these names. The greatness of the Almighty becomes evident from His attributes of perfection. When the person acquires the correct understanding of these attributes, he professes faith in a God who is unique, peerless, and only one of a kind. He is the rock of shelter for all. To Him solely belong the heavens and the earth, and whatever is between them. No one shares His sovereignty, and no one is His partner in running the affairs of this universe. There is nothing in this world which is hidden from Him. No affair of this world is beyond His jurisdiction and control. Everything needs Him, but He needs no one. Matter, plants, and animals all prostrate before Him and are busy in celebrating His praises and glorifying Him. His power is immense, and He is all-embracing, and every particle of this universe is subservient to His will. Whenever He wants, He can destroy anything at any time, and whenever He wants, He can recreate it. It is He who bestows honor or humiliation. Everything is mortal, and He is the only immortal. He is beyond what is the beyond, yet He is closer to man than his life vein. His knowledge and wisdom encompass everything. He even knows what is concealed in the hearts. His intention supersedes all intentions, and His command supersedes all commands. He is free of all faults and is without any blemish and beyond any allegation. Among the attributes of perfection, the attribute of Tawheed occupies the most importance. It is this attribute of Tawheed which is the most explained and emphasized upon by the Quran. So much so, the surah on which the last group of the Quran effectively ends directs the Prophet ﷺ to declare the concept of Tawheed openly before the people, that God is alone. He is everyone's support. He is neither anyone's father nor anyone's son, and there is none like him. It is this importance of Tawheed on account of which the Quran has explicitly stated that without adhering to it, no deed of a person is acceptable, and if a person adheres to it, then there is hope that every sin may be forgiven. The reason for this is that a person cannot remain adamant on his sin if he professes faith in Tawheed, and if he happens to sin, he will find the grace and blessing of God will induce him to repent and to seek God's forgiveness. Such a person will surely turn to God and as such become entitled to be forgiven even before the day of judgment. Arguments of Tawheed which are cited by the Quran are very sound and based on established facts derived from knowledge and reason. Here it should suffice to know that the argument which nullifies polytheism is that no one has any basis of associating partners with God. At more than one place, the Quran has demanded from its addressees to present if they have any grounds for polytheism, whether based on intellect or on divine sources. Only God Himself could have informed us if He had any associates, and the only way to have knowledge of God's will in this regard were the divine books He revealed, or the traditions and narratives which have been transmitted generation after generation from His prophets and messengers. None of these contain anything which substantiates polytheism in any way. 3. Dealings and practices. The dealings of God with His servants and the manner in which He deals with them are called Sunnatullah by the Quran. The Almighty says that these practices are permanent and unalterable. Consequently, for a true comprehension of God, just as knowledge of His attributes is essential, knowledge of His dealings with His creation is also essential. Following are the Sunan, or the practices and dealings of God.